on the record in 2025 CR 64, State of Kansas versus Terry Lynn Bogart. County Attorney Jill Gillette appears for the state, and Mr. Bogart appears in person, in custody, and pro se. Mr. Bogart, in this case, you are charged with count 1, aggravated kidnapping. Specifically, the state alleges that on or about the 11th day of May, 2025, in Greenwood County, Kansas, you, Terry L. Bogart, then and there, contrary to the statutes of the state of Kansas, did unlawfully and knowingly take or confine any person accomplished by force, threat, or deception with the intent to terrorize the victim, and did so with bodily harm inflicted upon the person kidnapped, to wit, Nicole Sumter. This is charged as a level 1 person felony, which means that if you were to be convicted, are you hearing me okay?
Judge, you're kind of quiet.
No, we can certainly fix that. Is that better?
Maybe a little bit more.
I'm normal, Judge. I don't know if it's their setup or if there's something wrong.
It could possibly be.
All right. Well, as I said, Mr. Bogart, in count 1, you're charged with aggravated kidnapping of Nicole Sumter. Did you hear that, or do you need me to go over that again?
Yes, I heard that.
All right. That is a level 1 person felony. That means that if you were to be convicted of this charge, you could be sentenced anywhere from at least 147 months up to 653 months in the Kansas Department of Corrections, commonly known as prison. You also could be ordered to pay a fine up to $300,000. In count 2, you are charged of aggravated battery of Nicole Sumter. That is unknowingly or unlawfully and knowingly causing physical contact with her in a manner whereby great bodily harm, disfigurement, or death could be inflicted, and you did so with a deadly weapon, hitting her in the head and the abdomen with a baseball bat. Is that comical? Is that funny?
Well, unfortunately, this woman that claims this, she's like 3 times my size. She's at least 300 pounds heavier than me, first off. Secondly, this situation, all we did was argue. She was on methamphetamine.
Well, I probably ought to stop you there. Your attorney wouldn't want you speaking, but I did wonder what was comical, what was humorous in an aggravated kidnapping and aggravated battery charge. And you've told me
all I did was tell the woman she needed to go to her room and relax because she was claiming there was people running around my house out in the country.
All right. Well, your attorney again would tell you to stop talking. And we'll talk more about the attorney issue shortly. But it is alleged that you struck her with a bat, which could be a deadly weapon, and you did so in a manner where great bodily harm, disfigurement, or death could have been inflicted. As charged, this is a level 7 person felony. The penalties range from 11 months to 34 months in prison and a fine up to $100,000.
Oh, I would like to see the weapons.
All right. You'll be entitled to see that. You and your attorney will be entitled to see that. In count 3, you're charged with criminal threat, allegedly threatening to commit violence communicated with the intent to place another in fear, to wit, Nicole Sumter, by threatening to cut her into pieces while holding a knife to her throat And you also threatened, apparently, they're saying, to throw her remains in a river. This is charged as a level 9 person felony. If convicted, the sentencing range you could receive would be from 5 months minimum up to 17 months maximum in prison, and you could be given another fine of up to $100,000. Then in count 4, you are charged with aggravated weapons violation by a convicted felon. In this count, the state alleges that you did unlawfully and knowingly possess a weapon, to wit, a West Point .22 caliber long rifle, having been convicted of a felony, a person felony, in Greenwood County Case 2019 CR 85, to wit, aggravated battery, and that you had not been expunged or pardoned from that. This is a level 9 non-person felony. If convicted, your sentence could range from 5 to 17 months with a fine of up to $100,000. These are all felony charges, so you will want an attorney, and I see you have applied for one.
Yeah.
I have
I've
your
also-
application in front of me.
Also, I would like to see if you could take into consideration that I'm in the process of treatment for glaucoma. I've also have experienced breathing problems here recently with COPD or something like that. I mean, my health is not at the greatest peak. This is why I'm saying all this stuff they're throwing on me is crazy, because I can barely even keep up myself.
How old
Let
are you,
alone,
sir?
huh?
How old are you?
I'm 59, getting ready to turn 60.
Okay, 59, getting ready to turn 60. And
Yeah.
are you
I
employed?
mean, no, at this time, like I said, I was in the middle of, I've already had 3 surgeries on my right eye for glaucoma. I was trying to get that pressure system in my eyes equaled out more so I could do my left eye next. I helped this woman out because she was stuck between a place of nowhere to go and a man that was willing to help her out if she slept with him. My landlord stood there and heard this, and he looked at me. He says, "It's only going to be a couple days." I said, "I really don't feel comfortable with it, but I can deal with it."
All right,
Wasn't
well,
even
again,
24 hours later, after her doing this meth and shooting it in her arm and everything else, that she went on
again,
this.
your attorney would tell you to stop talking. Whether you
No,
listen or not, that's beyond my control. I'm not going to gag you to stop talking, but that's what your attorney would tell you. Your application, excuse me?
so hopefully we can expedite the deal with the attorney so that I can continue my medical procedures, because like I said, I've managed to get my eyesight back in my right eye. I was totally blind in it. I do have a PDF of all my
Okay, well,
medical procedures to show that
okay.
I don't have time for these kid
Well,
games.
sir, I need to, if you're going to pursue this application for attorney, I need just a minute of your attention. You've been unemployed for 4 or more years. Why have you been unemployed? Is it
Because
the
I haven't been,
glaucoma?
yes, I mean, I was walking into walls because I couldn't see right. I
Okay,
didn't know what was wrong with me.
okay. Well, your application says, does anyone live with you? And you said no, but I understood you to say you were giving this woman a place to live.
Just for a couple of days. Yeah, it was just a couple of
Okay.
days. Even my landlord's a witness to this.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. It was just a mutual
Okay, so
agreement.
you don't, sir, just a moment. You don't own the land you rented, and you've indicated that by referencing your landlord. You're single, no dependents other than yourself. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, for monthly bills, you put worked for landlord for rent. So you're saying
Right.
even though you
Right.
don't,
He's
you work,
80 years old, and I more or less
Alright.
provide a lot of services for him for his property
Okay.
as well where I'm at.
all right. So you work for room and does he pay for your food too?
No, I was getting a assistance for that.
Are you still getting that?
As far as I know, I mean,
Okay, so that's through the state of Kansas food assistance.
yeah. I mean, I just, it's what I get for being nice and saying yes to help somebody.
Other than your food assistance and the rent you get from your landlord, do you have any kind of income, disability, or anything of that sort?
No, I was denied disability.
I will appoint an attorney to represent you. My assistant, Missy, who's with us, will
Could you repeat
assign an
that?
attorney. Missy will assign an attorney to you, and if you check back with her in a few days, she'll tell you who that is and how to get a hold of them. Missy, you don't have the appointment yet, do you?
No, I don't.
All right. So make sure you check back. The jailer can make sure you have access to Missy's phone number. And as soon as you find out who your attorney is, contact that attorney. The attorney needs to know your name, your case, and where you're located so he can talk to you. Do you have a phone out there at your landlord's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
So you're getting an attorney. We need to set a date for your next hearing. And Missy, when will that be?
Preliminary hearing control, June 20th at 1:30.
You need to be back here June 20th at 1:30. Why don't you come to the courthouse? Because I think otherwise trying to do this by Zoom would be very challenging. And bond, Miss Gillette, do you want to be heard on the issue of bond?
So, can I make a real quick recommendation? Okay, where I'm
All right,
staying at,
you
where
can
I'm
go
staying
first.
at, I don't have no transportation. My landlord provides me with that, especially helping go to doctors and all that. And he could verify that I stay there on the property. I don't bother nobody. I stay to myself. I'm a recluse.
All right, what is your landlord's name? And he's your sole transportation?
Yes, yes. I mean, we're like brothers more or less. I mean, he takes care of me, help me with what I need, and I help him.
Okay, and
He,
do you live out in the country? Don't give me your address, just tell me yes or no.
yes, yes. That's
South
2 miles away from Madison, out in the middle of
Madison,
nowhere.
okay, all right. Miss Gillette, do we know where this alleged victim is at this time? Is she still on the property?
I don't
No.
know about the property owner, but an endorsed witness, that's whose house he ran to during this incident. He went down there to James's house as this incident unfolded. So that's going to be one of the people he's not actually supposed to be having contact with unless the court allows it. My recommendations for bond is 75,000 due to the fact that he has a prior aggravated battery.
I understand.
Has he been in here anytime recently?
Mm, not since the 2019 case, Your Honor.
Okay. Did he do any time on that, or do you know?
I do not have that file pulled out today.
Okay. All right, well, apparently, oh, okay, there's something pending in Lyon, but it looks like it's civil in nature. And And there's today's case. This older gentleman, this 80-some-year-old man that you live nearby, he isn't the victim in this past case, is he?
No.
Okay. It's like you've had some traffic issues over the course of time. Well, you have no income. You live 2 miles outside of Madison. You're looking at some cataract surgery in your left eye when?
That's where I was in the process of getting ready to start setting that appointment and stuff up when this incident happened.
Hmm.
Through,
I'm going to. And how do you know that lady that was there? Let me ask you how long you've known that lady that is allegedly the victim.
I've known her off and on through some friends in Emporia, and I mean she has a record in Lyon County for being violent up
All
there.
right. And how old is she?
Huh?
Do you know how old she is?
No, not right off the top of my head. I do not.
Okay. Well, I will follow the state's recommendation because of the violent nature of this and the potential threat to this lady, but
I
as
want
soon
to
as you,
understand. I want to understand the last friend I spoke to before I was arrested, that she was back in Emporia, and she was telling people that she had actually set me up and got me arrested.
well, you'll certainly want to talk to your attorney about that. And as soon as you talk to your attorney, the attorney can bring the issue of bond back in front of me so we can consider reducing that if appropriate. I'm setting the bond high now because of the nature and the possible threat to the community and the fact that I'm not sure that you have really strong ties to the community. If it sounds like you've been living there a while, but I need to know more. I need to probably hear from this gentleman that owns the land to see what your arrangement is and so forth. But as soon as you get your attorney, he can bring this back in front of me and I'll review that bond. In the meantime,
Well, could I
regardless of the
ask
amount,
one next
regardless,
question?
hang on,
Sorry,
regardless of
okay,
the
yeah.
amount of the bond, regardless of the amount of the bond, you are to have absolutely no contact with this alleged victim. I'm not going to go so far as say no contact with your landlord, even though he's a potential witness, but you are not to talk about the woman. You are not to talk about the incident that led us here today with him.
Right.
If you
Okay.
get out there and want to start plotting a strategy or talking to him about your defense or what happened, then you can go back to jail on violation of your bond. So
No,
if he tries to talk to you about it, tell him you can't.
right.
All right. Anything further, Miss Gillette? We've got the court date. He's got it getting an attorney and bond at 75,000 professional surety. Anything else from either of you?
Honor.
Yes.
Nothing further, thank you.
Okay. And Mr. Bogart, did you have something that I didn't let you finish a while ago?
Well, I was going to say, should an agreement come with this by my landlord? I'm also going to have character witnesses that'll going to be on my case about this woman and her drug
All
problem
right.
she has.
Well,
But
your attorney will want to know all of that information and help you decide what you want to do with it.
so this should be within the next, what, 3 to 5 working days, or how soon should I expect?
You'll know your attorney. Missy's pretty quick about this. As soon as the attorney confirms that he or she'll take the case, probably at the most within a couple of days. If you're still in jail, she'll let the jailer know and pass that on to you.
I'll probably
If you
more than
get
likely be
out,
here.
if you get out, you contact my office and Missy will tell you who your attorney is.
Okay.
But I want you talking to that attorney as soon as you find out who he or she is.
Okay.
All right, if there's nothing further, then Mr. Bogart, you'll be excused. Yes, sir?
Okay, as far as being able to communicate with this attorney, once I do find out who it is. What if they don't
Oh.
accept any collect calls or anything? What can I do about that?
Well, deputy, will you allow him to
Yeah,
call his
we allow
attorney?
you guys to call your attorneys if you need to.
All right, there we go. All right, if there's
All right.
nothing further, you're excused, sir. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Is Mr. Boyles in custody also?